What's going on, everybody? Baltmatrix here, and today we are taking a look at some third-party goodness. We are taking a look at the brand new Giant Legion GLA-01 loader and GLA-02 mixer. That's right, it's another third-party Devastator. And not just any third-party Devastator set. This third-party set, these two figures are less money than a single Fans Toys scrapper. Straight out of the box, these things look absolutely fantastic. I love these alt modes. They work so well. I mean, it's obviously a cement mixer and a front-end loader. There's not much uniqueness that you can have there, but it's stylized in a way that it feels modern. And that's something that is going to come up a bit as I review these two figures. They just feel modern. They are obviously homages to the original Generation 1 Constructicons of Mixmaster and Scrapper, but they are unique and feel their own. There is some die-cast on these figures, not a whole heck of a lot, but there is some, specifically on Loader here. These right here feel cold, so that's die-cast, and then there's a pin right here that is cold. The actual movement of the figure... Oh, listen to those nice ratchets. That is way more movement than even the Fans Toys Geary has, which I have that figure. That'll be a review coming up shortly. Now, there is one minor issue that I have with this guy, and that is that there's nothing pegging it into place, so it does spin, which is funny, but that has to do with its limb mode. So, believe it or not, both of these are the arms, not the legs. So there's kind of a reverse role or a reversal of roles going on here, where Scrapper and Mixmaster are the arms and Scavenger and Bonecrusher are the feet. Now you might be wondering, well, what about, parts and stuff? Everything's built in. You have built-in components in both of these sets. So there's a fist right there. And then the other fist for the mixer is in the mixer. And it does require just a little bit of wedging it apart. But, come on. There it is. See? There's the fist right there. I'm not going to show you the actual limb modes for these guys, simply because Hook and Long Haul are going to be out in like another month or so. And then I'll have the entire upper torso of the giant robot. It's crazy to think that this whole set could be completed before we get the next Fans Toys figure. That's insane. In terms of size, these things are a good chunky size. Here is Rodimus Prime without the trailer, and you can see that it's scaling kind of to a Commander class alt mode. I was going to use like Armada Prime or Ultra Magnus, but both of those are going to be just way too big. The material that both of these figures are using is mostly plastic. There's no getting around that, but it's a good quality plastic that it feels chunky. It feels pretty good. It's not as premium as, say, a top-of-the-line Hasbro figure, but for a third-party set that's going to combine, it's pretty good. And oh no, Sandstorm fell down. You okay there, buddy?
I'm fine.
Both figures also have full rubber wheels, which I greatly appreciate, and the figures can roll without any issue. Yeah, lots of fun, nice. And my son absolutely loves these things, so I'm looking forward to getting the rest of the set when they come out, because I think they're going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's move on to the transformation. Now, transformation for these guys is so enjoyable. It's not hard. It makes sense. The first time you do it could be a little tricky, but everything makes sense. Okay, we're going to start off with Loader. First, come up to the front wheels and unpeg them from the scoop. Then grab the scoop in the front and split it apart. That way you could come up to the connector bit here and unpeg the thighs from this nice metal connector. And this whole thing will fold down and peg into place. And then straighten out the bucket and point them down on these deliciously loud ratchets. And then take the buckets and turn them around. And there's this little flap on the bottom. Flip that around and peg it into place. And congratulations, you've made some feet. Stand the figure up, and unfortunately there's no funny Gerwalk mode to be had here. I've tried, it doesn't work. What you want to do is grab the canopy or the cab, pull it all the way forward like that, then grab the entire back of the vehicle mode and flip it up, and come to the back and split the back open to form shoulders and arms. Then take the fist, flip it out so you can reach inside and unpeg the engine, which turns into his gun. Flip the fist back, and then flip the whole thing in like that. Come to the cab and flip out the head, which is actually the hardest part of the transformation because it's a slippery little devil. And you got to kind of get your nails in there and pull it out. And then the cab, the cab will collapse up over where the engine was. And then we flip the head down and peg it into place. And before we move forward, we got to turn the hips around like that. To finish up the transformation, push down the shoulder bits a little bit and then flip them in and push them all the way down. And then bring the arms down. Flip down the fists. Turn the arms around. And flip the fists back up and put the, fists actually where they're supposed to be. And we are done. And the last thing we're going to do is flip out the engine bits for the gun. Now for the transformation for the cement mixer, it's very simple, and it kind of goes the way you think it's going to go. Legs are the cab, upper torso, backpack, and arms are the rear. To start the transformation, I already kind of started it. Pull the gas can or gas tank away from the body, and it will slide out on this pin. Flip it around and peg it into the wheel. And it doesn't matter where the wheel is positioned. It will just peg. There's a little peg on the inside right there, and that will peg into the inside of the wheel hubcap. Yes, hubcap. That's what it's called. Now we can take the entire front of the vehicle mode and ratchet it up, ratchet it down, and split it in half and pull out the gun from underneath his toes. Now, for the feet, you might think, oh, well, this is how it's going to transform, right? No, it's actually a little bit more complex. Look at the thighs. You have to slide the thighs out, and they will peg into place. Then come inside what will be the feet. There is this little black piece that you need to flip up. There we go. And then there's a toe in there. Flip the toe out, then collapse the front of the vehicle mode inside and peg it into place. Then that little black piece, slide it down, and it'll peg and hold the whole front of the shin together. And then you flip out the heel. And getting this little black piece off is the hardest part of the transformation. It's not that hard, though. If you have some nails or even a spudger or, I don't know, just do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Grab the mixing drum and pull it away from the figure like that. Turn the entire torso around. Like so. Then come to the wheels and split them apart like that. Fold this silver piece down and it'll snap into place. Fold up the shoulders and flip up the fists. And then bring the arms down. And then grab that barrel or drum and push it back up into place. And we're done. Just give him a gun. I love the robot modes on these. They just work for me so well. When I first saw them, I wasn't really sure I was going to pick them up, but now that I have them in hand, they're really good. And actually, a big shout out to Sam Makes Toys over on Twitter / here on YouTube. He actually said I should pick these up because they're a ton of fun. And boy, he was right. These are great. Robot mode looks fantastic for both figures. And, well, they're also superposable. And they have a fun little thing that I'll talk about here in just a second with their heads. Yeah, so let's do some size comparisons real quick. Ultra Magnus. Astrotrain. Armada Prime. Armada Galvatron. Me swoop see green guys. And Studio Series The Fallen. It's about the same size as The Fallen. So the posability on these figures is great. We'll start with Mixer. Head is on a ball joint. He does have a tendency to hit the barrel or drum in the back. Not a big deal. Swivel at the upper arm. Hinge for in and out movement. There is a bend at the elbow that's over 90 degrees. Swivel just up at the upper arm. No fist articulation, unfortunately. But it's not that big a deal. There is that torso articulation you saw as part of the transformation. And then... oh, ratchety. And then nice bend or articulation there at the ankle rocker. No forward. Oh, yes, there is forward and back. Duh. Forward and back articulation is there as well. So pulling off decent poses as this dude, pretty easy. And the thing that I love is these ratchets are nice and tight. Once you get him in a pose, he's not going anywhere. Now let's look at Loader. Loader is a lot of the same. Head, ball joint, moves around, shoulder, swivel, hinge, in and out, bend at the knee, bend at the elbow over 90 degrees, swivel, no fist articulation, swivel at the torso. He has an ab crunch. And then, I mean, look at that. Look at that. And then nice, lot of movement and articulation there in the ankle. And there is actually a lot of articulation in that ankle. You could pull full 90 degrees inward. Of the two, Loader has definitely the better articulation. I mean, I've gotten some poses out of this guy that, quite frankly, are amazing. These guys just feel so good. They're so much fun to play with, and they ooze character. They are Constructicons for 2024, and I didn't realize I needed these that badly. They're just so much damn fun. Now, both figures' guns, I'm using Mixmasters here. I'm sorry, Mixer, not Mixmaster. They activate a light gimmick that is in the heads of each figure. When you get these figures, or when you get the set, it comes with its own LED unit, and then a small, I think it's an LR44 battery, that you slide in, and then you have to open up the heads in order to get the LED unit in there. And that is done via this little peg that is on the back of each head. I will freely admit it is super annoying to get this in there. If you have a nail or a spudger, it'll work, but the first time getting it open was a monumental pain in the butt. But I persevered and got him in there. Just be careful, because once I got the panel off, it feels very loose going back on. So just be aware of that. All right, let's go ahead and turn off the lights and activate some eyeballs. The glowing eyes. I love it so much. It just works. Now in this lighting, it's really hard to get a good view unless it's casting a shadow. That's why I have the floodlights turned off. But it's so nice. I just can't stop gushing over these figures. They are so much fun. They just feel good in the hand. They pose amazingly. The transformations are enjoyable. I have no negative things to say about this set, except maybe, just maybe, the plastic could be a slightly higher quality. That's it. That's it. This plastic feels exactly like the Trans Arts Beast Wars figures that we've gotten over the past few years. That's the same quality of plastic. That's my only complaint. Just maybe the plastic could be a little bit higher quality, or I could just be crazy in that fact. So folks, I really, really do recommend picking this set up. I got this set up over at Soji. I got this set over at showzstore.com. Oh man, I don't know why it's so hard for me to say Showzy Store. Showzy Store. What can I say? It's Friday and I'm tired. Anyway, So, folks, let me know what you think of this set down in the comments. Please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really helps out when you hit the like button and comment down below, because that's feeding the algorithm gods, I guess. All right, have a wonderful weekend. I've been Baltmatrix. You should pick up these figures. They're totally awesome. Thanks. Bye-bye.